It shows that the game is a lot more than, just being able to play, on the good days. Like, you have to be really good on the bad days.
Hey guys, Johnny Disc Golf here at the 2019 Portland Open with coverage presented by Prodigy Disc. I am standing here with the owner of the hot round during the last round of Masters Cup. How you doing, Eric?
Pretty good, man. After a finish like that, especially the ups and downs that I had, I fell 18 places and then jumped 18 places, which is pretty nuts. But to be able to come off a tournament like that, you just have to, all right, let's use that as confidence to roll into, the Portland Open, and I'm really excited to be here in Oregon. So
Yeah. So what was the difference? Just to get back to that Santa Cruz experience. I mean, obviously different courses.
Yeah.
But was there a different mindset? Like, run me through how it was such a drastic change.
The rain.
Really?
It really, really was. I was having a lot of grip issues in the rain. I felt like if a disc came out when I wanted it to, that was like such a huge victory in that rain round. But then the next day, I had all the confidence in the world after that first round that I was throwing the disc good when the conditions were good. Sure. So I just trusted to that. And it's been something that's been kind of going on since, I'll put it to kind of around Nick Hyde, that I've been throwing the disc really good, but I've been finding it difficult to score. Okay. So, talking with AJ, Brian, Peter, Garrett Tapkin, a bunch of people, Seth Muncie, like a ton of people about what that actually means. It's like, okay, so you're throwing the disc good. Think about that only and take that positive out, because I was getting into the results and all that stuff when it can easily happen. So once I started remembering you're throwing the disc good, then the golf just happened. So it was really awesome.
So awesome, man. And I think De La has a unique. We don't usually play in the rain.
No.
So when it was so rainy, it can punish you by just being off by an inch. What did you find? Because it wasn't just a normal rainy round. Everybody seemed to be struggling out there. What was what made it so difficult for a lot of those players?
Honestly, I think that them being mostly par threes, you can score on every single one of those holes, but their teeth show, and they were on in full force, especially in the rain. So once people realized that they had made a mistake, they were trying to push to get that second shot or that third shot or whatever shot they needed to kind of climb back to even or a couple over, and that's when you saw a lot of people making more mistakes, honestly. But I played with Garrett Gerthy, Simon Lizotte, and Sias Elmore, and they all were under par. I was like, is it only raining for me? It's like they're just a cloud over my head, because it looked like they were unaffected. But hats off to them. They absolutely killed it, and congrats to Garrett on what an amazing finish.
I'm so glad you just said that. Yeah. So you did play your second round with him. That proved really to be that momentum builder, the difference maker in his tournament. Did it look like he was more locked in than usual? What was your perspective playing alongside him?
Dude, he was a supersonic, man. Really? Honestly, he just was. Anytime he had a Sonic in his hand, he was 5 feet away. And especially in conditions like that where you need to get up and down for your pars, which felt similar to birdies on the day. It was so easy to watch, and I actually got to do commentary, so I got to relive it again, and it was. He put on a show. And if you guys get the chance, go check out Par Save's coverage of that second round. He looked completely in control. He had the confidence, and it's been a long time coming. He's such a good golfer that he's earned, and he went out and earned it. That's such a cool thing to see.
Yeah, and it's honestly cool to see it raining at De La. I don't know how much footage we even have of that. I was looking through it. I did the little recap shows. Yeah. And it was just a different world out there. So I really do encourage you all to go check out that coverage. It ended up a really entertaining round.
Yeah, I mean, Paul and Rick's round on Jomez, I think Zach Melton told me, he's like, if you want to feel better about yourself, you can go watch two of our best players in the world struggle as well. Yeah. And so it's a funny, no jab at them. They're great golfers, but they truly did struggle. And, it shows that the game is a lot more than, just being able to play, on the good days. You have to be really good on the bad days. Yeah. And even whenever it's your own personal bad day, how are you salvaging those rounds? And that's what shows the better players, especially that are rising to the top.
Sure. And just to transition from Santa Cruz on that rainy day to Portland Open, looks like we are going to have a little bit of rain in the forecast. You said that it really affected a lot of folks at De La. How do you feel like maybe a rainy day here, a lot more OB, but a lot less par threes? How do you feel that playing out?
So out here, I think there's a lot more of the open air to use. So, if you do happen to miss your line by that, we'll call it 6 inches to a foot, like you're probably still going to find a place in bounds unless you threw it pretty bad. Yeah. So I think out here it won't be too bad. And usually the Portland rain is like kind of just spits on you for a little bit, so it's like it's manageable. Or that rain we had out at Santa Cruz was just dumping. Like it didn't matter what you did, you were just going to get wet. Your feet were soaked, your hands were wet, your discs were wet, and how could you manage that? So I think Portland will play a little bit easier than that De La round did, and I think it's just because Portland's like used to the rain.
Sure. So. We're out here and it's a par 64 this year, I believe. It has gone down 2. How do you feel about the changes, like specifically on hole 1, which has played as a par 4, but an eagleable one? Mm-hmm. They bumped that down to a par 3. How do you feel about like changes like that? Is it more in line with maybe professional feel?
Absolutely. So there's a couple holes that feel like professional par 3s and professional par 4s. The hole that Paul ended up winning the world title out here, obviously the basket's in a shorter place, so it wouldn't be a par 5, but it's a really difficult par 4. It takes 2 really good drives to get your birdie 3, and I love that. And then they changed the par 5 that has the big islands of OB towards the back. I think it's 14 or 15, and it's a big open shot. But I think most of the pro field, especially the top, we'll call it 30 to 50%, like you should be getting a putt for your birdie on that hole pretty often. And if you take a bogey, you kind of feel like what would have been a par before feels like
not good.
It doesn't good. You're losing strokes to the card. And there's OB to be had, but I think that's a direction I could see more courses going, and challenging us more as far as pro style par 4s, futuristic par 4s, if we'll call them. And that's not saying go make course designers don't make things impossible for us. Just keep challenging us in the right ways, and the Portland Open will be a perfect venue for that.
Great. No, I appreciate that. I honestly feel the exact same way. So I'm glad to hear you say that. So we're standing here with a little bit of time until kids disc golf event. How do you do that at every event? And could you explain a little bit like what's that look like for you?
So I miss San Francisco and I'll miss D-Globe because I'll be in Europe, but I'm planning on being at every single one. I was at pretty much all of them last year as well. Matt Graham and Kids Disc Golf are doing such an amazing thing, and it's an easy way for us to give back a little bit of our time to make an impact on the futures of the sport. And I think that growing the sport this way and just being out there, maybe in 5-10 years, like we're a little more secluded off as pros and we don't have this as much public appearance, but as of right now, this is we're still much in our growing stages. It makes such an impact on these kids, on their families, on their parents, because sometimes it's their parents that just want their kids to get hooked, and if that's all it takes for them to have that family bond, that's so huge. So the more people we can keep in the sport of disc golf, the better we're going to end up being in the long run.
Yeah. What does an actual kids disc golf event look like? Like so it's starting here at 6:00. It's about to be 6 here in a second.
Yeah.
What do they actually do? Is it like a tutorial? Is it more about just getting them excited about frisbees and discs in general?
Honestly, it's a lot of both. Pizza party type of thing, and just getting the kids to meet the pros they've seen on Jomez, and maybe do some giveaways, maybe do a little bit of throwing and stuff like that. But it's generally all about fun, all about the interaction, and all about trying to make that impact.
That's so cool. As somebody who worked in education and worked with kids, it's really exciting for me to see the smile on a young child's face when they're throwing a disc or they're watching you crush a disc out in the field.
Yeah.
I know you're wearing a hat. Disc golf strong.
Yeah.
Okay. I know you're heavily an advocate of everything that Seth is doing. Mm-hmm. How has your body been responding? Because is this maybe like the first major year you've really dug in, or have you been doing it in years past?
I did it lightly in years past, but this past off season I really went in head first, and having Tina also dive in with me was really easy because then we were motivating each other to be after it. But as far as my body goes, I'm feeling awesome. Yeah. At this point last year, I had a lower back flare up and, kept me out of playing Whistler's Dubs and stuff like that. And it was really weird. It was something I had to maintain and manage, but I feel like my body, I didn't really lose any weight, but I lost inches. So my body just is more like toned and ready for the sport, the impact, the movement, the explosion and that we're doing. So I'm seeing those benefits, so it's making me want to do it more, and it's making me want to just, all right, cool. Even if it's just roll out, do a couple easy exercises in the RV, like before I go to sleep. Those small moments I know are going to help benefit me, even if I don't see it at the weekend. I might see that 5 months from now, 12 months from now, at this time next year, where my body's feeling even better. So I'm trying to keep that in perspective of that. I'm trying to play this sport for as long as I can. Look at the Patrick Browns, the Johnny McRae's of the world, and I'm turning 31 in a few days. So it's like, all right, well, we really need to take care of our body if we want to stay on this path and keep on that upward trend and be able to compete. So Disc Golf Strong has been influential.
That's so cool. I did an interview with Seth out at Santa Cruz. So cool. Went great. He's such a fantastic guy. Check him out at Disc Golf Strong everywhere if you haven't already. One last little one. Are there any courses in the Northwest in general that you're looking to get to that aren't tournament courses? Like, Are you going to get any rounds in your time here?
I'm hoping to get out to Buxton Woods. Buxton Woods is a special spot. I actually met Ian Anderson when out there with Alex, and that was such a cool moment. So shout out to the Buxton people, because they know what they're doing. You've been out there, right?
I've never been out there,
oh my
but
gosh.
Louis Nava and Andrew Nava, who are friends of mine, they go deep with the Buxton Woods guys. So we're going to play in this next week. I'm so excited.
Dude, that's definitely, if you're not going to play the Blue Lakes, the Piers, the Milos of the world, Buxton is comfortably up there. Private course, they take care of it. It's worth paying a couple bucks to support what's going on out there, and it's awesome. I get excited.
Chills.
Yeah,
I can't wait to play it.
Yeah, dude, you're gonna have some fun, and I'm hopefully maybe I could join you guys, or if not, just be out there and join the Buxton people. So it'll be sweet.
That's awesome, man. And we got kids showing up all over the place. Really, yes. I want to get you out here, giving you a chance to say anything you want to the fans at home. Anyone pulling for Mr. Eric Oakley.
Thank you guys for all the support. I really felt it after last week's finish at Masters Cup. You guys are awesome, and big thanks to Dynamic Disc for always supporting me while I'm on the road. Whale Sacks, the Natty, Hum, Kombucha. Being here in Oregon, it feels awesome to be able to see it in every store. So, make sure you go check out all those companies. Again, always be dynamic.
Well, thank you so much for your time, man.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. You're always up to doing one of these. And for all you folks at home, if you'd like to see coverage of all things disc golf, make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Hey guys, thanks for checking out that interview. If you'd like to support me, check out patreon.com/JohnnyDiscGolf. And if you'd like to support my sponsors, check out Prodigy Disc. I am loving the D2, the H2V2, H3V2. They are making awesome plastic, and they're just generally good people.